Yeah, we see Patrick down there pulling a Jimmy, straight up just doing his move. Yeah. So
I know the moves. I've been to the concert.
you know Jimmy's moves. Hey, welcome to another episode of It Be Like That. A little bit different this week because you see there are two more boxes, maybe to my right, but it looks like it's to my left. We got
below me.
Well, below Pat down there. That's where I've got Pat, but we got JD to my left.
Yo.
Down over there, we got Kyle.
Oh, that's me. Yeah. What's up?
It's the Back in Time God podcast, guys, on another episode of Pat.
It be like that.
That's right.
Fucking love it.
We got some great guests today, and some different guests. It's not just the Angry Dad all the time.
I don't know. God fucking damn it.
That's right. At least with the video, you can do his face.
Yeah.
But hey, guys, welcome to the show. It's really good to have you here.
Finally.
Yeah, I'll start, and JD, you interrupt me. Hey, it's really good to be on the show.
Well, let me just go ahead and say that it's fantastic. A number of reasons, and we're very excited to be here. Kyle, feel free to interrupt me anytime you want, and then I'll interrupt you back because that's kind of what we do.
It's a pleasure to be on the show, and it's our first time, but you guys have been on our show a bunch of times, and yeah, we're really looking forward to this. I'm all jazzed up. I forgot to give a big old woo, woo. But yeah,
woo.
Son's sleeping. So can't let too many of those fly, but yeah.
Well, it's good to have you guys on here. We've been talking about having the SIP Network guys on here, and so you guys are, well, officially you're the second, but that was before the SIP Network actually kind of came to be. That's when we got the Angry Dad involved, and he's been one of the, I'd say, fan favorite videos of the Jelly Bean Challenge that we did with him.
It's worth the watch on YouTube because he got every single one bad. Like every time we were doing a question, if you got the question wrong, you had to flip, take your chances to get a good or bad one. I got like one or two questions wrong every single time I had a good jelly bean. He must have got about 8 questions wrong and he had every single bad jelly bean.
And that's from dog food to vomit to dead fish.
Rotten egg.
Yeah, those Bean Boozled jelly beans are no joke.
No, they're not.
So, how have you guys been?
I'll actually start this time and not be interrupted, but I've been pretty.
Oh, that's
good.
great, Pat. How have you been?
Work is work, and just kind of enjoying the last few days that we have of good weather out here in Indiana before the snow comes in, and we do nothing but hibernate for about 4 or 5 months. So, yeah, so we got that coming up. Pat, you'll find out. Quit laughing. I
was about to say, when the snow starts showing up, I'll be there in a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's just going to be really cold.
I love the cold.
Oh, yeah.
He does.
You say that now, but have you experienced a polar vortex?
I have not yet, but
I'm sure that he'll be out there with his shorts. He's going to be with his black shorts, his freaking wife beater like he is right now. Cold don't bother me.
About 2 years ago, when I went up to Oregon for training for my job, I'm standing there at the walking out in sandals, shorts, a cut-off shirt. It's snowing outside. Everybody's looking at me like, "What the hell is wrong with this guy?" And I was just like, "I love it."
So it was probably like 20, 30 degrees.
Yeah, close. Yeah.
Yeah, I went to a Bears game. It was -32 at kickoff.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a 60-degree swing. Keep that in mind. That can cook an egg.
So, JD, how have you been?
I just been running and gunning. Been super busy as of late. I don't know if we haven't officially stated as much, but I started a new podcast with a couple of buddies who participated in Back in Time to a certain degree, but it's called Side Quest Podcast. And it's just a shooting the shit podcast where essentially it's like a video game where you have a main quest and then you have the side quest. And the side quest is just all the tangents that a conversation can go. So it's really short and simple and sweet, but it's much to Kyle's dismay, time consuming on my end.
That's cool. I did see the first episode came out, about a week ago? Or was it earlier this week?
October 1st was the first episode.
That's
and
right.
we had episode 4 just dropped on Spooktober the 13th. So I don't know when this will come out, but it's been fun. It's a lot of learning experiences. You guys know, as you've launched podcasts, you know that it's not an easy route to travel.
Yeah, you could do a podcast for how long has it been, Pat? 6 years?
Jeez, yeah, 6 years.
An average listenership of 20 listeners per episode.
You know, we used to get more listeners, and then we had what was that episode that we had? We were talking like some politics or something, and then all of a sudden,
I think we talked something. All of a sudden, we went down. It was around last time, all the voting stuff came out, but we won't do that again.
Go Biden. I mean, Trump. I mean, I don't care.
Go no one.
It's been more than 6 years if you think about it, though, isn't it?
I think it's been a little bit longer than that. Maybe we're almost up to 200 episodes. This is 193.
I don't know. I lost count a long time ago.
After one.
I lost count at 2.
It's just because he doesn't have to do any of the audio shit that he doesn't remember the number. I'm pretty sure if I asked Kyle, he would know.
347.
See?
Lost count after one.
Yeah.
You're like, we're counting these?
We have numbers?
Hold on. These are numbered?
What? What, we did Home Alone already?
That literally happened to us recently. Like we were discussing, what movie was it, Kyle? Was it
Friday the 13th Part 2?
Yeah, and we started to do an episode, and we were doing a teaser for it because it was going to be on the poll topic. And Kyle was like, Friday the 13th Part 2, you'll want to vote for this because, and I went into this whole big explanation of why to vote for it. And Kyle was like, you've said this all before. We've done this movie already. A little embarrassing, but nobody knows.
Well, if they didn't know, they know now.
Yeah.
Well, all 20 of them.
That's right. Those goddamn 20 listeners, I'm telling you what.
Minus, me, because I'll listen to it over, so 19.
Every once in a while, I have to see what I fucked up in editing.
It's like Dave, Ben, Lil Mo with the gimpy leg, Cheeks, Tony Bob, Cliff.
And then there's a guy that really hates Brian who likes to comment about stuff.
That's the fun one. That's the guy that used to date my wife for like a little bit of time, but didn't really date my wife, if you catch my drift. And he said that our marriage would not last, period, when we got married. And it's been 13 years now, and we're still happily married. Everything's it's great.
You're married, right?
Yeah.
And then he listens to the podcast and then hates on it.
Yeah, he'll say,
Yeah.
Pat, he had good opinions on that. Brian, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Like, he'll send emails and shit.
Yeah, something about Brian doesn't let Pat talk, and Brian talks down to Pat. And,
I'm like,
Probably
what
how his
podcast
marriage
you
was, too.
Pat don't give a shit what I have to say. Pat do what Pat want.
Yeah, I just keep him around so he can edit it and put everything up.
Pat and I can name your other podcast.
Gosh.
So how have you been, Pat?
Not too bad. Didn't work. Last week it felt like it flew by. Yesterday flew by, and today I was already like, can it be the weekend already? Today was just a long one, and but no, everything else seems to be cool. Went to Saturday night. Went to this. So at the fairgrounds, usually every year they do this thing called what's it called? Not Scarefest. What was it called? Scaregrounds or something like that. Instead of fairgrounds, they call it Scaregrounds. So this year, since of COVID, they had this thing set up to where you drive through it, and it took about 45 minutes. And they had different like themes throughout it, and people would jump out at you with like chainsaws and shit like that. But you stay in the car the whole time.
Where the fuck was my invite?
Dr. Joseph.
Oh, okay. Blame
Planned it for
Joey.
his birthday. Yeah. Well, I talked to your cousin. I think he's going on Friday.
Oh, that son of a bitch.
But every time we invite you places, you don't ever want to go.
only
So
my
I
uncle.
We recently, every time we go to my in-laws for birthdays or something, his parents are there. And I'm like, "Where's Brian?" He's like, "Well, he always says he doesn't want to come, so we quit inviting him."
That's cool.
My family, I swear to God. But
It'd be like that.
I guess it do.
Ooh-wee.
So what about yourself there, Brian?
It's been a little better. My Amazon woes haven't gone away yet from work, and I'm not going to get too much into that. But they're going to get another fun phone call from me in the morning. Other than that, it's just been what it is. Trying to get through the month, doing the 31 and 31 challenge, trying to keep up with that. That's been rough. And then, we got a special podcast to record next week with Dave and also a little guy from the UK. So it should
we're doing that next week?
Yeah, that's next Thursday, boy. 22nd.
Thursday? No one told. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did. Then your goddamn text messages. Check your phone.
I'm checking my schedule right now. Okay, I'm free.
Oh, good. So, other than that, it's just been like trying to watch these movies and do all the little things. And trying to keep on the whole cult angle has been actually a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be. Like finding them. They mentioned cult for 1 second in this movie. I can watch this movie. That's on the list.
Well, but everything's got to be a lot easier for you since you're not doing Terrible Terror. I mean, well, you are, but you and Phantom Dark Dave had done all those previously, right?
Yeah, we had done a bunch of the episodes previously, except for the one that's going to drop on Halloween. So, and then even then, I fucked up in the editing on the House of 1,000 Corpses one and left that one section in where I was like, "Oh, I need to take this out, and then we'll start from over here." And then I just kept going.
Man, I can't believe all the shit he was talking about you guys. Like, oh, we did this last year with the Back in Time guys. I was like, wow, you're talking so much shit about it. I know you guys didn't listen to it, so I can probably get away with it. JD, I know you don't even listen to your guys' stuff. So
It's true. For your 20 or 19 audience members, I just do not like podcasts. I'm a part of a bunch of podcasts, and you can hear my voice. Rickety, it's all hell, all over the place. But I don't know how you guys listen to this shit.
Yeah.
I edit most of your lines out, in all fairness.
I believe.
For me, it was
all one-word answers.
I used to work from home, and it was the closest thing that I could get to hearing other people. So that's how I started listening to podcasts. Otherwise, I still would have been more of a music guy. But that actually, listening to a bunch of people talk and then feeling like I enjoyed, yeah, I'm part of that conversation. It's like coworkers around here talking about random bullshit.
man, you just make yourself sound really sad and lonely.
I know. That was when I was working from home, asshole. Now I'm just used to it.
I tried, I had trouble sleeping for a while, and I went through a whole bunch of different ways that I could try to help myself fall to sleep. And I thought maybe podcast would be a good way to go. Just some conversation in my ears as I go to sleep, and it did nothing for me. I just re-listened to the same 5 episodes of S-Town nonstop over and over and over.
I honestly thought the route you were going was listening to Kyle talk put me to sleep.
Oh, I really thought he was going to say I started listening to Paranormal Pat.
You're not long enough to make you fall asleep.
I'll fall asleep to an episode of Grilling with JR. He's got that old sultry, down south voice, and I'll just put me right to bed.
I thought JR from Dallas was dead.
Wrong JR.
Oh.
JR from wrestling, man.
Tougher than a $2 steak.
I've got Bell's palsy. Too soon?
God is my witness. He's broken in half.
We're going to have ourselves a barn burner here. Your turn. What else does he say there, Brian?
He's got nothing.
Fuck me. I got several policy.
He does say fuck me, but that's off microphone in the hotel room with the hookers afterward.
Oh, okay. Well, at least I have the insight on that now.
So you want to get further?
I'm the cameraman.
Yeah, get that hooker. Yeah.
That's it.
Oh my god.
So, as you see, we're having a lot of fun already with the show. But let me run down what we're going to do today for this episode. Now, normally this would have been live, but everybody's got the video here on YouTube for this episode, and the podcast is up for those that are just listening to it. But we've got a set of questions. Now, Pat and I did this a while ago, like 3 or 4 years ago, something like that, where it was a bunch of questions that were meant so that, if you ask them to somebody, they would fall in love with you. That's the idea behind the questions. That list is like 36 questions long. So I brought it down to about 15. I think that's what I've got in the list that I sent you guys. I think it's 14. And I kind of modified them a little bit so they kind of fit a little more to you guys rather than fitting to, just anybody.
Yeah, he got rid of if we were to date, where would you want to go? He got rid of that question.
Yeah.
What's your sign?
Well, there literally was one like, look your partner in the eyes and ask them, blah. And I was like, I'm not looking anybody in the eyes. We're not going to get close on the screen and have like an old 80s Hollywood kiss that for everybody to enjoy.
Oh, babe.
Aww.
That's not going to bug us. Me and JD have showered naked together, so.
That's a lie.
Football? Come on.
I was always a late shower. I waited for like the first group of guys to get done in the shower before I would go in.
The guy that came in with the trunks. I forgot that was you. Kind of weird.
Well, that'll happen.
Oh, like I double showered those times.
My favorite gag, and I always used to screw with people. They'd be showering like in soap out, and I'd walk by with the shampoo and just go put a big old blob in their hair and just keep walking. They'd be sitting there like, "What? God sakes, how much shampoo's in here?" And I'm just laughing on the outside. Can't help it.
See, I don't remember anybody really using the showers up at our high school. What about you, Pat?
You didn't play sports, though. That's why.
Well, that's probably what. Hey, I played baseball for a really long time, just not high school baseball.
Little League MVP.
That's right. We won the goddamn championship the last year that I did. I got 4 touchdowns in one game.
You're
Pretty
too
Al
busy
Bundy?
playing Magic. You guys don't do group showers after Magic. At least I hope you wouldn't.
It depends who's playing.
Heyo, magic fingers.
That's right.
Spirit fingers.
I use blue mana. So anyway, so we have these 15 questions. So we're going to do that. That's probably going to be the first thing we do, just so everybody gets to know Kyle and JD a little better. And if there's any follow-up questions, Pat, feel free to ask any of the follow-up questions. And then we're going to play a game between Pat, JD, and Kyle. And it's going to be a movie game actually based upon movies that the Back in Time podcast has done. So,
before we get to the questions, though, I thought of something that we probably should have said. Why don't you guys describe your podcast for the people?
Figure I would get into that once we're moving into the actual show.
Oh, well, fuck me. Go ahead, host.
Well,
Oh, he's just talking down to you, Pat.
I know.
I know. I'm just talking to. I mean, he's not going to listen to it later anyway, so he's not going to care. But I was going to say before we start the show, why don't you guys give a little bit of information about the Back in Time podcast?
Well, I mean, now that you ask, finally, jeez. No, it's so we have a podcast. We typically drop about 6 episodes a month that are new content. We'll have a couple from our archives over the last couple of years, but we cover everything from the 80s, 90s, a little bit of early 2000s movies, and kind of all different genres. And we do top 5 lists, and we'll have some celebrities and people in the industry come on, and we just love movies. So it's a way for me to connect and stay connected with JD and continue that friendship. So
Did you guys can't shower together anymore?
exactly. Yeah.
Say, you make it sound so horrible. To connect and maintain that friendship. Oh, I'm Kyle.
Well, I don't like you, so this is one way that. No, wait, hold on, backwards.
Scratch it, reverse it.
Reverse engineer this.
The virtual shower background to go up as you're talking.
Dang it, Ring Central. I wish I could throw it up. All right, JD, anything you want to add, though, about the show? Now
How
that
much you love Free Willy episode?
podcast?
Oh my gosh, no. First of all, that's a big thing. There's nothing but hate for Free Willy and Charlie Conway for Mighty Ducks. You're gonna hear nothing but hate for those jackasses.
Hatred's always good.
Yes, it is.
It makes for a fun show. Just the way, like, Pat hates me, so it's all good. Talk down to him all the time.
It's true.
Well, who's taller?
I think we're about the same height.
So when you get on a Portage, Indiana phone book, you'll be taller, and then you'll talk down to Pat.
There you go.
There we go.
And Kyle can't jump over a Portage, Indiana phone book.
Hey, that's my story to tell.
But you didn't tell it.
Well, there's
Haven't
no
got there yet.
a better time than ever.
Now, I had a basketball coach in middle school who was trying to make me understand that I needed to box out and not just try and jump for a rebound. So he made the comment that I should use my fat ass for something other than sitting on the bench, and then told me I couldn't jump over a Portage phone book,
Oh, jeez.
which is about 2 inches wide. So, yeah, needless to say, not my favorite coach of all time.
Oh, that kind of reminds me of when my coach called me a fat ass when it was my playing JV football, and they onside kicked it, and I got the ball, and all I saw was I'm going to run for the fucking end zone. And I start running, and all I hear is my coach, "Get your fat ass down, Solus!" I could have made it, coach.
I could have made it.
Why don't you believe in me, Coach?
Rudy.
You know what I'm saying? I was a third string tight end for nothing. Starting center, though.
Oh, gosh.
Any embarrassing sports stories there, JD, while we're at it?
And plenty of embarrassing sports stories.
I had a shower with Kyle.
Yeah, well, that wasn't embarrassing for me. It was embarrassing for him.
Oh, there you go.
He was the one without the trunks on. So, just saying, there's that 2 inches that comes back into play. The only really funny sports story that I'll share is I was a slacker in college, and I didn't necessarily try very hard in practice. Come game day, I brought it, but in practice, I was definitely a slacker, and I was slowly hustling back to the huddle, and what our offensive coordinator noticed me just like meandering like a fat piece of shit, and he runs up behind me and he goes to slap my helmet to like get me to run, and he boom hits me, but he broke his finger on my helmet. So he's like, JD, you son of a bitch, you need to. And he breaks his finger, and I turn around, and he's like, oh, hot damn. And I was like, that's why you don't hit your players.
Tell him to walk it off.
He came back with a splint on, and he was like, oh, if I hit you now, it's not going to break again.
I actually remember that. That's hilarious.
I was being such a lazy ass to get back to the huddle. I was so tired.
Well then, shall we begin?
Go for it,
Let's
Mike.
do it.
Make it so.
All right. So these are all going to start off relatively simple, and then they'll probably get a little more personal as we go along, depending on how you want to answer it. But let's just get the quick ones out of the way. What city did you grow up in? And either one can start.
Order here. I'll start, and JD can go second.
Sure, and then we can switch it each
there
question.
We go. Yeah, I grew up in Portage, Indiana.
That's fantastic. Born and raised in Chicago, Illinois.
And then what did you want to be when you guys grew up, JD?
Because of Matt Murdock, Daredevil, wanted to be a lawyer.
I thought you were going to say blind.
Oh, that was good. No, you're an asshole.
Oh man,
Oh,
No,
wait.
I always wanted to be a lawyer, and I'm not.
not
Thank
even
goodness.
close. I wanted. Well, I guess when I was a little kid, I wanted to be a basketball player, and then when I got into high school, I wanted to be a pro wrestler.
And are you still chasing that dream?
I legitimately had a couple matches. JD was there for at least one of those, I think. But no, that's a hard business right there.
Oof. I know a couple people that do it, and man, it's rough.
Oh yeah.
And Pat knows a couple people too that does it. He knows a lot more than I do, actually.
Yeah.
It's a 10-minute match is the equivalent of a 60-minute football game. It's insane.
It's rough.
Yep.
So, Kyle, what are your 5 favorite movies?
Okay. So I made this list beforehand. Now these are my favorites. They're not necessarily the best movies in the world, but they're the ones that I watch the most. So I got The Goonies. I've got Back to the Future. I've got Ghostbusters, The Lost Boys, and then my favorite movie to watch growing up with my grandpa, The Great Outdoors, which Pat guested on our show.
Yep. And JD?
Geez, yeah, I wish I had prepared a little bit more. Apparently, I kind of overlooked this question on the message that you sent because
Shocking.
5.
Don't worry, that's the way we work around in this podcast.
So in no order, I'll say A Clockwork Orange, Royal Tenenbaums, Point Break, Demolition Man, and The Burbs.
Yep. Good list.
As much as you guys talk about that you like RoboCop, I'm surprised that's not on there.
Well, he froze
RoboCop.
up. So, there you go.
RoboCop replaces anything?
RoboCop replaces Demolition Man.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go. All right. So, what was your first job, Kyle? Or actually, JD starts this one.
My first official job was a baseball umpire for Little League, the local Little League squadron of whatever the hell they call that.
Okay, cool.
How many fights did you get into with the parents?
Probably 3 or 4. It happened.
I believe it.
Oh yeah, that's not a fun job for somebody that's like 12, 13, having to go in, and because I did it, that was my first job as well, and like the parents with like 6 and 7-year-olds were already insane. How could you call that a ball? You know, it's like, well, it hit the ground and then it bounced past the goddamn catcher.
Also, I'm a child,
Yeah.
and you work at a factory, so calm the fuck down. You're not a fucking Major League ex-player.
Now, what did you buy with your first like check or payment?
Oh shit! I think we made like $14 a game, so jack shit.
So we made about the same. I bought my dad Forrest Gump.
Nice.
That was the very first movie that I think that I bought myself, and it was for my dad for, supporting and everything like that.
I wish I had a good story like that, but I probably just stuffed it away into a bank account until I had enough money to buy a new WWF video game.
That's still good.
Not bad.
Kyle?
I was a dishwasher / prep guy at Pizza Hut. My first job. So I had a job before that, which technically you have to get paid for it to be a real job, but I was an usher at Notre Dame Stadium when I was 13 and 14. And then but I didn't get paid. I got paid in food, which was cool. And I got to watch the game from like the 10-yard line, and that wasn't bad. So, but yeah, Pizza was the first job where I actually made money. And I think my first purchase, I want to say I saved up a couple checks and bought a radio system for my Camaro. One like the faceplate ones and stuff. Yeah.
The old ones that you had to take out because somebody was going to break into your car and steal the goddamn faceplate.
Which happened to me. Yeah, my senior year, I was in basketball practice and somebody busted through a bunch of cars, and I had like a check in my wallet. I had just cashed a check that day. I had like $200 cash in my wallet. Took that, my plate, and a couple other things from the car. I was pretty pissed.
That's when you got to get the tape out, so that way you can still listen to the CDs because you can just tape that little spot. and stays in there.
My
So-
God, not my credence, please.
So I had my car broken into in college, and my radio was stolen from it as well. Also, they took a thing of Pop Rocks.
Those were good though. I enjoyed them. Wait,
I couldn't believe it. I was like, I had a thing of Pop Rocks in the cup holder. Yeah, you bastard.
I got the
Who do you think robbed
downstairs.
your car?
I don't know. Somebody did rob my my truck in college, and they took all my CDs out. I had a huge collection of CDs and stuff. I was
Yeah,
pissed.
I had
nobody
that-
wants any of those.
Someone broke into my truck one time and stole my took the CDs out, and then they tried to break into my brother's car. And I guess when they couldn't get into his car, they took off and they left the CDs sitting on top of the other. So I got them back.
Got him back. That's
You
awesome.
dummy. Pat, I don't think I've ever asked you what your first job was.
I moved furniture when I was 12. My cousin owned his own moving business, so I'd go work on the docks over the summers, go back to school, and then when the summertime came around, I'd go work on the docks. But I was like 12, moving furniture.
So that made you perfect for playing center for the JV team, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Hey, I knew back then I wasn't going far in life. I wasn't going to be no talk or anything. We recently just had some friends talking about, like, well, what did you want to be when you grow up? And I said, I wanted to be a pro wrestler or a football player. But apparently you need talent for that. So that's why I work in a warehouse.
Well, Pat, stop talking down to yourself.
Or to Kyle.
You see, people say that you're talking down to yourself, or you just know your limitations. And you've accepted it.
All right, so going back to Kyle, if you could live anywhere you'd want to, where would it be?
This was a tough one when I was thinking about it, but I think I'm going to settle on somewhere in the Orlando, Florida area. I'm a huge amusement park guy, so the idea that I could have like a season pass and go whenever I wanted would be awesome. So I'd probably live in, like, not in Orlando, way too many, people coming in and out of there, but probably like in a near town over like Winter Garden or one of those places.
And JD?
It's an easy answer. San Diego. I think that's one of the most perfect places on earth. It's the weather year round is fantastic. The downtown life, the sports, just, well, minus the obvious one, but other than that, it's a fantastic place. And the biggest Comic-Con in America occurs in San Diego.
Yep.
Plus Anchorman.
It's got a kick-ass base over there, too.
Yeah. How about those Chargers?
Yeah.
How about them?
Well, they ain't there anymore, so. All right, so JD, given the choice of anyone in the world, who would you want to have as a dinner guest?
Can I give you two answers?
Sure.
So there's a serious answer, and then there's a super serious answer. I think the first answer I would say would be Jason Schwartzman. I think would be a fantastic dinner guest. But more seriously, the person that I would love to dine with would be John Wilkes Booth.
So, why?
Here's a man who was an actor at the age of 27 who decided, I'm going to change the face of American history after having some whiskey in a bar, and then just jumped into Ford Theater and boom, caps Lincoln. I want to know everything about this man.
That's a good point.
That's so fascinating. Like, what the hell did you do when you were 27? Did you change the face of all of American history?
No, sat on my ass and probably played video games.
Same. Did jack shit when I was 27.
Kyle?
After watching the Bulls documentary that came out, I want to sit down and have dinner with Michael Jordan and pick his brain some more. And this one be a little bit more unedited and hear some of the real stories of what went down. Because there's still a lot in there. And I watched 10 episodes and I was like, they could do 10 more. So I would just love to hear some of those locker room stories.
Man, nobody ever says Scottie Pippen.
No Tip and Pippen.
Pat, how about you?
I didn't prepare at all.
I know. I'm curious. That's why.
Once again, there'd be a couple of different people, like JD said, like a serious one, or what I would play around with. I think it would be great to sit down with Weird Al, because I've just been a fan of his for so long. Or I'd say the other person would be probably like Kurt Angle, or like The Rock, like someone like a sports figure like that.
That'd be cool.
I've always loved Kurt Angle, and I've always, me, as long as you've known me, I've been the hugest Rock fan. So at least I got to meet, even though it was for a second, took a picture with him, with The Rock. But I think it'd be cool to really talk in with Kurt Angle.
Plus, The Rock's a hometown boy.
Yep.
You know,
I've met and took a photo with Kurt Angle. Nice guy.
Nice. Did you bring him some milk?
No, I didn't bring him any milk. It was TNA was doing like these like little raggedy shows where they would do basically like after the match you could pay like $15 to go in there and get a photo with him, and he was like dog tired, could barely stand because his knees were really bad, and we just went in there. He's like, "How's it going, guys?" I'm like, "Doesn't look all that great for you." And then his knees were like, I just kept looking at his knees and they were so bent because they're in such bad shape. And I was like, oh, I bet you used to be about 3 inches taller, huh?
Jeez.
Well, since you made us go all the way around, how about you there?
Oh, I think I probably have two as well, and they're just because I want to pick both their brains as well. Eddie Vedder. Musically, I want to pick his brain as a songwriter, as a lyricist. He was the first band that Pearl Jam was the first band I kind of got into on my own. Because I was given like a Guns N' Roses CD when I was a kid and said, oh, here, you'll like this, listen to this, because my dad listened to all Rolling Stones and everything like that. But that was the first band where there was something that clicked, and I just like to sit and kind of talk to him about the process of like writing 10 would be really cool, and how he was an outsider to everybody in that group and not really of the Seattle area, and it would just be fun. Or the other guy would be Jon Stewart, because Jon Stewart he's always been like people minded. So like even like for all the 9/11 first responders, he's been fighting for them for years and years and years. And to see him come up as an MTV VJ, to go into the comedy world that he did, where, he did like Death to Smoochie, these like little things, to becoming this like, and I know politics are everybody's kind of bag, but just him doing the Daily Show and never really, even though it's pretty liberal, but not really being that liberal guy, just being the guy like this is screwed up. Let's talk about it, no matter who side it was, and just be able to kind of sit and pick his brain for a while too. They're like the two guys I think that also in the back of my mind that would be, hey, if I met you, I probably wouldn't be able to talk to you. I think my mouth would just not want to fucking move. If I saw you, it would just be like, or it'd be like Chris Farley in the old SNL sketch with Paul McCartney. So you were in the Beatles. That's cool. and that would be it.
Well, your cousin Angelo and I saw Jon Stewart one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were in Reno at a strip club, and he came in and had all the girls around him.
That must have been like in the early 2000s, huh?
No, because he was still stationed in Virginia back then. So I don't know. It had to be, close to. I was married. We were married already, so it had to be after 2007.
Okay.
But it was funny because I said, "Oh shit, that's Jon Stewart." And Angela went, "Who's that?"
That's my cousin.
I definitely want to change my pick to Chris Farley now, but you can move on.
Oh, yeah, Chris Farley too. Oh.
So, Kyle, if anybody was going to play you in a movie, who would it be?
Now you have to put on a little bit of weight, but give me puffy Vince Vaughn. I think would do a good job.
I could see it.
Okay.
If you got him in like the Tim Allen Santa Claus suit.
Yeah, and he's already got the football background with Rudy, of course.
That's right.
As O'Hare, this asshole thinks it's the Super Bowl. So, no, I think he'd do a good job.
I think you could kind of get, his swingers partner too.
I thought about Favreau. Yeah, he's a little too Jewish for me, but.
Oops. I don't think you could say that.
Take that one back. No.
That'd be like that.
That's right.
It'd be like that.
That's right. JD?
I would say it would have to be Luke Wilson.
I could see that.
Thank you.
Wow.
My brother's famous, but I'm not. It's better than Andrew Wilson, that's for sure. But I don't know. Like, there's something about his comedy and the way that he delivers lines and his look. With the beard and the hair. I'm a fan of Luke Wilson, and he's actually appears in Scream 2, which is our most recent Back in Time episode. So shout out to us and a good Luke Wilson story that I...
Have you been learning from Pat and doing your goddamn plugs in the middle of our podcast?
Jose Brian,
it'd be like that.
It'd be like that. Deal with it.
All right. So, JD, if you're able to live to the age of 90 and retain either your mind or the body of your 30-year-old self for the last 60 years of your life, which would you choose?
Fuck, that's a messed up question.
It'll get harder from here.
That's what she said. I feel like my body's going to go to shit regardless from all the injuries I've sustained from playing sports for so long. So I'm going to take my mind. I think there's a Tales from the Crypt episode where it deals with this exact scenario. And it's the older guy who gets the younger body, but he has the older mind, and then the older mind gets the older body, and it's like this back and forth.
I think I remember that one.
I definitely think having the younger mind with the older body makes more sense to me.
All right. Kyle?
Yeah, I got to go with the mind. I'm a big Don Rickles fan, and he was sharp as a tack all the way until he was in his 90s. And, couldn't get around very well, but the guy was still hilarious. And, yeah, I mean, what are you going to do at 90? It's not like you're going to be hooking up with women at 90, so I don't want to be a vegetable sitting on a lawn chair somewhere.
I don't know. Look at
bod. Who knows?
What's his name from Walk in the Clouds, where he had kids at like 83, something like that?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Eastwood's still in good shape, but he's still got the mind too. So,
yeah,
Redford. With the mind though.
Yeah, Redford's he looks pretty good. Even kind of up to the end. What's his name? Kirk Douglas. He was doing pretty good. He still had a pretty sharp mind until the end. Not necessarily the body though.
Yeah, speaking of Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Kyle. So if you wake up tomorrow having gained any one quality or ability, what would it be?
This is an easy one. Time travel, man. Back in Time podcast. I want the ability to time travel. I want to go back and relive some of the greatest moments of my life. Maybe just some different events that happened throughout time. That would just be awesome to just be able to kind of look in on stuff.
Do you think that you would be an outside observer, or your body would go back and you would be in that position?
That would be perfect if you could actually go back and be in that position and relive it. That'd be so cool. A little Freaky Friday action going on.
Okay, butterfly effect. Calm down.
Butterfly. Yeah, wrong movie. Jamie Lee's on my mind again. Damn it. I got to go with time travel.
JD?
So I've got the superior answer, and it's actually the ability to stop time.
There you go.
That's a good one, too.
Yeah, because...
That show Out of This World?
Because whether you want to be a hero or a villain with your special power, like the ability to stop time means, Kyle, you can time travel all you want, except for when I stop time and you can't do shit. So if I want to break into a bank, if I just want to take an extra long nap,
But what if he time traveled right before you stopped time and stopped you?
That's true. I could totally Marty McFly this thing.
Yeah, this is a good conversation. I feel like this is a whole separate episode.
So I had a question, and now I lost it. Probably was the stoppage of time. Pat, what about you? I'm curious about this one.
I wake up and just have any ability?
Yeah, you can gain any one quality or ability. Doesn't matter what it is.
Probably super speed.
Nothing like seeing a big man run really, really fast.
Well, then I'd lose a lot of weight faster. I don't know.
Check it out. Fat Flash coming through.
I mean, that's the funny thing. Like DC, like that was like he's always been one of my. It'd be the Flash. So I mean, that's what I would say. I mean, it's not like you can say you could just wake up and become a Super Saiyan because that's like a whole other race. So if I had the ability, I'd say super speed.
California man Patrick Solis broke the Chicago Marathon record. He said, "Woo!" on his way through the finish line.
You just heard the trail. Woo!
Broke the ribbon in 1.8 seconds.
That's awesome.
He wouldn't have Guile saying Sonic Boom anymore. He'd just say "woo" time through one of those things.
Sonic Boom.
What about yourself, there, sir?
I think that's rough. Like, part of me, if I want to be realistic, it'd be perfect pitch, so be able to control my voice perfectly for whatever I wanted it to do and wanted it to be. I really love singing and music and stuff, and so that's what I would kind of, if it was going to be something realistic-ish. I don't know. I can't stop thinking about time stopping because I think that would be the actual perfect thing, because you could just Zach Morris everything. You know, you're going to think about the situation, and I just look towards some random camera, you know.
But see, think of that like with super speed. Like I can actually time travel, right? Speed Force. And then I can also move so fast it slows down time enough to where it's almost at a standstill. So I got all your powers all in one.
Yeah, but that power can stop you before you can even begin.
Yeah. He just stops time and just runs up and shanks you a couple times and then walks away.
But none of this happens because I go back in time and I show up at JD's place right before he gives the answer, and I hit him with a baseball bat, and he never says he can stop time. So
done. Look, I just stopped time right there, and you're fat ass.
All right.
Time out.
All right, JD, what is your greatest accomplishment in your life so far?
Oh, so these are getting serious. I would say the thing that I'm most proud of is in 2016, I was included on the Blood list for the best unproduced screenplays in the horror genre, which
That's
was
awesome.
it was a big deal for me. If you're not familiar with it, it's essentially like the Blacklist, but for horror, thriller, psychological, bloody mess kind of stuff. And it led me to work with one of my personal favorite directors, Brian Bertino, who wrote and directed The Strangers, who approached me after reading my screenplay and was kind of like, hey, I really, I like what you can do, and I love the way that your mind works. And so like we've worked back and forth over the last few years to just toss ideas across from one another, and none of that would be possible without big shout out to the Blood list. So
that's awesome. Kyle?
I was the first family member in my immediate family to graduate from college. So that was a pretty big goal. Growing up, my dad worked in a steel mill for like 47 or 49 years. I can't remember the exact year, but he just retired. And he told me so many times, he's like, you don't want to do what I do. He's like, you need to keep your ass in school and graduate. And I watched my brother went, dropped out, quit. My older sister went, dropped out, quit. My second oldest sister, basketball scholarship, free ride, went, tore ACL, quit. Oof. And I was like, I am not quitting, no matter what. So, and then JD's like, well, you did quit on the football team. That's true, I did.
You did.
But I didn't drop out of school, you bastard.
That's true.
So
props to you, man.
Yeah, no, that's a big goal for me. So.
So now, conversely, starting with JD, what's your most terrible memory?
How personal do we want to get here?
It's how personal you want to make it.
I've got 3 terrible memories that I could potentially share with you. 2 are extremely personal. One has been talked about on Back in Time Pod. I'm happy to share the other offline with you guys, but I don't know that I feel vulnerable enough
No,
to share it with your audience right now. But it probably was my senior year of college when I injured my back and saw any potential for, because I had gotten invited to both the small college all-star game and then to try out for the NFL Combine my senior year. But I ruptured all the discs in my lower back.
Ouch.
And that was kind of like this terrible memory. And I didn't want to go on, like I was done with football. I hated football. I was like, so just thought it was like this shit show of a occurrence. And I would never have made it on the next level at all because I was just a little piece of shit. But the fact to have that taken away from you so you don't have a choice in the matter was kind of sucky.
Yeah, that's really rough, and I thank you for sharing that, because that's something that's tough to kind of, get through and deal with. And I bet you that recovery, how long did it take you to recover from that?
I had surgery in November, and I was in the pro wrestling ring by February.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but you didn't do much in that match. You were still definitely recovering for sure.
I was definitely recovering, but I threw down a power bomb.
You did throw down a power bomb. I remember.
That was the extent of my big move, and I still deal with back issues to this day, and do rehab on a daily basis and stretch. And there's stuff that I just will never be able to do again in my life that I used to do very easily.
And Kyle, now we flip it to you.
Yeah, this was the only thing that popped in my mind. It's a really sad story, but I had a friend. She was like one of my best friends in high school, and a couple years out of college, I got a phone call from her at like 3 a.m. and her dad had committed suicide, and it was like the worst day ever. Like I drove all the way through the night, got there, and I had to help clean up some of the mess. So yeah, that was a rough one.
Oh man, thank you guys. I do appreciate that you guys are sharing those. Is that it can be rough. Okay, well let's try to bring it up a little bit here. We're going to Kyle. So, here's another one. There's another fun one. So your house containing everything you own catches fire. After saving your loved ones and pets, you have time to safely make a final dash for any one item. What's the item going to be?
Was this me or JD?
This is you.
Okay. You look over my shoulder here. It is hanging on the wall. That is a signed Mickey Mantle photo to me from when I was a kid, and I would definitely be saving that. So I've lugged that thing around. It's 32 years old. So
wow.
We got that signed when I was 3 years old at a card show in Chicago somewhere. My dad waited in line all day.
Oh, damn.
So, yeah. So I'd be saving that bad boy.
JD?
The vodka. No, I'm joking.
I don't know. It's pretty good vodka.
I would say it would be one item, but one item that consists of 10. It would be my notebook collection, all of my thoughts and stories and ideas that I've written down over the last 15, 17 years. I couldn't part without my notebooks.
Is this like the green notebook from the Water Boy with all the special plays in?
I guess that's a way to trivialize my importance, but thank you.
Yeah, it's got a giant picture of Fazabok in the back of it.
Well, yeah, that it does.
Speaking of Adam Sandler, real quick, did you guys hear that he's talking about doing a Adam Sandler verse thing, making a movie with all those different characters?
Well, isn't that what that Hubie Halloween kind of is? Doesn't that make like references to all his other characters?
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but that's what I heard.
I've
watched. Yeah.
Go ahead. I haven't watched it. I've heard it's good. So Kyle.
Yeah, we my son loves Sandler. He just cracks him up. So we watched Hubie Halloween with a bunch of his little friends in the backyard on the projector, and I mean, I was dying. Like I love Sandler humor though.
Yeah.
So if you're going in there thinking it's The Godfather, you're gonna be like, "Oh, this movie sucks." Like, oh, come on.
So, how did your son enjoy Uncut Gems?
Yeah, we skipped on that one. We took the father-in-law to that one though. He was like, "What just happened here?" Yeah, that was I love that movie though.
I do too.
So much tension in that goddamn movie.
I can't wait for the next Safdie Brothers movie after watching that one.
All right, so we got the last question here, JD. If a crystal ball could tell you the truth about yourself, your life, the future, or anything else, what would you want to know?
So that's a very interesting question, and I don't know if any of you all have ever gone to do like a tarot card reading.
Yeah, my wife actually can do it.
That's very interesting. I did it one time, so I went to a fortune teller and asked her essentially that question, and the answer that she gave me was unexpected, and I don't know if it's true or not. I don't care. But I would still want to know the answer to that from the crystal ball. And I would want to know where I need to hedge my bet and put my time and my efforts to ensure a successful future for myself and my family. And I was told, dead serious, I was told it would not have anything to do with writing, which I've dedicated so many years of my life, and to find out from a fortune teller that I'm wasting my time was very kind of like depressing. So,
but she like, I've read your work. It's not writing, please.
And then you say, "Call me now later for some more free reading." I've never done that.
Sorry, low hanging fruit. I had to.
Well, the real thing was that the real fortune teller, she was thrown in the back, and that was actually Kyle down there with Fink, because the other fortune teller was going to say Back in Time podcast.
There we go.
That'd be the best prank ever if you could get one of those masks and just like play. He comes in, I'm just like, it's definitely not the writing. Something unexpected. And he's like, this is the mystery of my life, and I'm like, fucking got him.
Well, better than that one that Patrick went to where it told him to eat the pie.
Pie clean.
Oh man.
That was the first Stephen King book that I ever read when I was in 4th grade.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it just blew my mind. And I should not have been reading that book at like 10 years old. No.
I think my sister's first was It, and my first was Eyes of the Dragon. So I was a little safer. So, Kyle, you're last with a question here.
Yeah, kind of along the lines of JD. I would want to know like where to put my time and effort into. Like, you know, I don't want to know anything like about death or anything like that. Like if it's gonna happen in 10 years, I don't want to know that stuff. Like I'm just gonna be counting down the days. I'm like, 999 to go before I freaking kick the hay. So nothing like that. I would just want to know like, hey, like where am I gonna be best at? So I can have the best life for my family. So that'd be nice.
I didn't know my luck. They'd be like, "Yeah, you're not gonna be around long enough to find out. Don't worry about it."
Just keep eating the Big Macs.
You want to know what's going to happen in 55 days?
Just get that Popeye's chicken sandwich. Choke on the pickle.
God damn you, Popeyes!
I would get the answer in like 7 days. Like, damn it!
Somewhere coming through the TV, like, here I am.
What fucking videotape did I watch?
It was a porno, I swear.
She was under 18. Oh shit!
Oh.
It's that one Tracy Lord video. You thought you threw it away.
Oh boy.
All right, so let's get into the games then.
All right.
Because you know what we really need is a change of
topic.
get away from these things. I got to play these sound bites every once in a while just because they're fun. So, all right. So what we're playing is basically, if anybody's ever played the game before, it's Name That Tune, but we're doing it with movies here. So, and this I have dubbed the Back in Time IMDB game. And we've got 9 different categories here. And so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to pick a number between 1 and 60 so I can see who gets to go first. And I've already got a number in my head, so we'll start with JD.
17.
Damn. Did you read my mind?
Kyle?
I'll go with 7.
Pat?
Let's keep it the theme. 27.
All right, it was 55. Pat gets to go first. So we're gonna go clockwise in this. So it's basically to see if Pat can maintain his championship record on this podcast of basically beating everybody that's come on this podcast on any game that we've played so far. So we'll start with Pat, go to Kyle based upon my screen, and then go to JD, and then we'll go counterclockwise every other round. So basically, I'm gonna give Patrick 3 categories. They're all going to be categories based upon a movie that's been on the Back in Time podcast. He's going to pick based upon which category he likes best. I'll bring up the IMDb page on my end so you guys can't see it. Then I'm going to give a description of that based on trivia from IMDb. So all the trivia I've got, I rewrote from IMDb, so it excludes things like names of people. Like I'm not going to say Steven Spielberg directed this and said blah, blah, blah. Makes sense?
Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, Steven Spielberg.
I'm probably lose.
Well, I think that it's easier than you guys think it. Well, may think it is.
I have a hard time remembering actors' names and stuff. But.
Well, yeah, and the thing is that every movie on IMDb lets you see 15 actors. So you're going to say how many actors can you name it in? If you say 15, you get all 15. I got to name all of them. If you say 3, you only get the bottom 3 of the list. So that's what makes it hard. So the clues are meant to be there to give you an idea of what the movie might be. And then you can even say 0 and you just name the movie.
Okay.
But it will go from Patrick. Once Patrick says, I can name it in 0, it'll go to Kyle. And then Kyle will say, I can name it in, -1. Means that he has to name the movie and who is the very top billed in IMDb. And IMDb can sometimes be very, very weird in who they put in their top billing for certain movies. Does it all make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Patrick, we're going to start with the first 3 categories. Your categories are, it's a man, or way more hair down there, or cumbersome and slow.
It's a man.
All right. It's a man. Okay, so this is a movie that was done on the Back in Time podcast. Description, it made 30 times more than it expected to make. The writer-director actually went to the place it was filmed at. The main actress was 13 at the time of filming, and this and Friday the 13th inspired the Weird Al song Nature Trail to Hell. So you have 15 total names. How many names do you think you can name it in?
4.
All right, so I would give you the bottom 4.
Okay.
All right, Kyle, do you think you could do it in less, or are you going to say name that movie? And if you say name that movie, gets it wrong, you get the point.
I'll go name the movie.
All right, Patrick. So your 4 names from the bottom are Susan Glaze, Robert Earl Jones, Owen Hughes, and Desiree Gould.
I can name that movie. Can I steal?
You can't steal. You're locked. You're locked out of this one, but you'll start first next round.
I know. I knew I wasn't gonna be able to do this. No clue.
No clue. All right, go ahead, JD.
Sleepaway Camp.
No,
Sleepaway Camp is the movie. So
that was my pick.
You get the point because he couldn't get it.
Okay. I was like, I wrote down Sleepaway Camp.
All right.
Robert Earl Jones, James Earl Jones's dad. Boom. That is the giveaway.
I forgot that you guys did Sleepaway Camp.
That's right. And I'm the one that was on that one. Yep.
Yeah.
That's probably why I didn't listen.
Skip that one.
All right. So JD, you're up with this one. So we've got the categories for this round are going to be That's One Bald Ass, Die Turtles Die, or The Turtles The, and another sports team underdog story.
Let's do That's One Bald Ass.
That's One Bald Ass. Okay, so again, 15 names in this movie. The restaurant that was used in the film was burnt down after filming and rebuilt with memorabilia from the film inside. It was filmed in California, even though it takes place in Wisconsin. And the original name of the film was Big Country. So you have up to 15 names, or you can say 0, and then it's up to Kyle to either say name that movie or go lower than that.
I feel like Kyle knows what this is. I feel like I'm blanking, unfortunately.
Oh, I know exactly what it is.
Why am I? What did we do that takes place in Wisconsin?
Can't tell you.
I know that.
And see, Patrick, I know this one too.
Give me 5.
All right, that's 5 names from the bottom. So Kyle, you can either say name it or you can go less. And you can even go into negative.
When you say I can go less, what does that mean?
So you can say I can name it in 4, or I can name it in 3, or you can say I can name it in -1.
Oh, I can name
say
it in
the film.
-1.
All right, so you would have to say the film and whoever IMDb put as the top billed person in that movie.
Okay.
All right. Now,
you want me to take it, or I gotta wait for him
now
to not get the guess right?
It's up to Pat. Pat now gets to challenge you. So Pat, he could say -2,
-2.
or he can tell you to name it.
No, -2.
All right, so Pat's going -2. So now we go back to JD. JD, you can tell Pat to name it, or you can go lower.
So I don't want Pat to name it because he clearly knows what it is.
But can he get them in the right order according to IMDb?
Otherwise, I'd force it onto Kyle to do the same.
Well, Kyle could then just make you name it, and you have to say -3, so then you would have to name the top 3 people.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank, so let's do -3.
All right, so he has to name -3 for the movie and the name of the movie, or Kyle's going to get his second point of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, me?
No, so Kyle,
Yeah.
you say name that movie, or can you do -4?
No, name the movie.
All right, so JD, you're going to give me the name of the movie and the top 3 billed actors in the correct order.
So can I the movie first, and then you can tell me yes or no before I make an idiot of myself?
Yeah, I can definitely tell you the name of the movie first, and then you can not make an idiot of yourself if you don't want to. I'll
So
be
is
the
it-
nice toast on this one.
Is it The Great Outdoors?
It is The Great Outdoors, so you do have the movie right.
I thought so.
All right, so you got the top 3.
These have to be in order.
These have to be in order according to IMDb.
Aykroyd,
I'm not going to tell you if you're right or not until you do all 3.
Candy, female.
And that female is?
Woman.
Okay, well, Kyle gets the point. It's Aykroyd, Candy, and Stephanie, what is that, Faraci?
I would have never gotten that right.
I would have went with Candy first.
Yeah.
That's the dice you roll.
I should have went with my gut. It was like, I have a feeling this is The Great Outdoors, but I screwed up.
I think me and Pat overreacted too much, gave it away.
But it's still, you gave it a shot with number 3, and you're right, it was woman.
Just couldn't remember her name. I feel like I get a half a point.
All right, we'll give you a half a point for that one. But that still goes to...
We'll give him half a point.
That still goes to Kyle. So Kyle's at 2. Pat and JD are at 0. All right.
No. I have a half a point.
Well, half a point. Sorry.
Thank you.
Half a point. That way he's not losing to Pat.
Exactly. Important details.
All right. So the next 3 on the list, we got Keep Those Hands to Yourself. And this is for Pat to pick since he was not involved in that one. Money Saves Everything or The Future Past. And then we'll go to JD after that, just so that you guys have a chance to get a point.
What was that last one? What?
The Future Past.
Oh, future. Okay, yeah, that.
You want The Future Past. All right.
Past.
All right, so this movie. So the script was rejected 44 times before it was greenlit. In 2007, this film was selected for preservation by the Library of Congress. It's the top-grossing film of its year. The main character singing in this film was done by somebody else, and USC writing classes use the screenplay as an example of the perfect screenplay. So out of 15.
You said there's singing in it?
There is singing. But the person that plays the main character does not sing. He was overdubbed.
It's like a musical.
It might be, or it might not be. Remember the category name too.
Or don't and pass it to me.
Or don't and pass it to JD. You could say 15 names and then it goes to JD at full 15.
Oh shit.
So that means that he would get all 15 names if you told him to name it.
Okay.
Which means that he would know what the top billed actors are, and he'd be able to figure it out right away.
Okay. Okay. Fine. I say 5.
No, you would get 15.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm 15.
Yes. Okay. So basically, he wants all the names to name the movie. So JD, you have to go lower than 15, or tell Pat to name it.
Name it.
All right. Well, Pat, you're going to get a point on this one. So we got Harry Waters Jr., we got Billy Zane, Casey, I can't even say that last name, so we're going to skip it, J.J. Cohen, James Tolkien, Francis Lee McCain, George DeCinjo,
what we were doing.
Wendy Joe Sperber, Matt McClure, Claudia Wells, Thomas F. Wilson, Crispin Glover, Leah Thompson, Christopher Lloyd, and Michael J. Fox in
Back to the Future.
There you go.
I thought it was coming back to me to do that.
No, you have to go underneath him. So you would say 14, and then it would go to you.
But I screwed up because I knew what it was.
There was C in it?
Yeah. Johnny Be Good.
Huey Lewis in the News?
Yep.
Okay.
So
when you say that, I'm thinking musical. Like, I'm thinking, did they cover Grease or something?
That's why the clues are the way they are. So it's not me just saying that, giving you a direct hint.
Yeah.
Even though the title was called The Future Past.
We should have done this like Jeopardy style.
Well, we got Kyle then starting this round. If Kyle can get one more point, then that's the end of the game. So we got categories up. Way more hair down there. These are recycling, of course. Cumbersome and slow, or the turtles, or die turtles die.
Turtles.
Die turtles die, or the turtles, the. So the description of this says actor's son convinced him to take the main role in the film. Nearly an hour of footage, or half-hour footage, was actually cut from the film's release to make the runtime, and the parent company swore to never make another adaptation of their IP again. And you get 15 names as the opening bid.
3.
All right, so he wants the bottom 3. We'll go over to Pat.
2.
He says 2. JD. You can either say 1 or 0, or less than that.
I feel like I don't understand this game very well, so I'm going to say 0.
All right, so that means that you would just have to say what the movie is.
There you go.
So next time I'll write out the rules and put them on the thing. But Kyle can say -1, and then it's up to Pat to challenge Kyle. Or Kyle can say, name that movie.
Can I have the description one more time?
Sure. So actor's son convinced him to take the main role. Nearly a half hour of the footage was cut to make the film's final runtime. The parent company swore never again to make another adaptation of their IP.
I'm going to name the movie.
Are you going to do it at -1? Because JD's already at 0, so all he would have to do is name it. So for you to be able to name it, you have to go lower than that.
Yeah, -1.
-1. Pat, you want him to name the movie? All right, name the movie, and then the top billed actor of the movie.
I'm trying to remember his name. Hold on. Super Mario Brothers, Bob Haskins.
That's correct.
Yes!
Kyle is our winner on the Back in Time IMDB game. So the other movies that made this list that we can go through really quickly. Let's see. Way more hair down there was, and if you guys know it, just say what the movie is. So there you go, Teen Wolf. Whole filming took 21 days to film. Main actor hated this film so much that they didn't want to come back. Then Cumbersome and Slow, that was heavy costumes made for slowed down filming. Robin Williams was a big fan of this IP and helped someone get into their character. And the tagline was, "This ain't no cartoon."
TMNT.
That's right,
Oh
TMNT.
my gosh. Robin Williams?
Yeah, he was a huge fan of it, and he was on the movie of Cadillac
Records.
And so the lady that played April, he helped her actually get ready to play April while they were filming that movie.
Interesting.
Judith Hogue.
Yeah. Another sports team underdog story. So the actor was much taller than...
Giants.
There you go. He's got it. Actor was much taller than the other kids and can only be seen wearing socks in some of the scenes. There were plans to do a sequel, but they failed. And the director was removed because he couldn't film the sports scenes, but was kept on to edit the film.
Little known fact, Spielberg wanted that movie. He wanted Little Giants because he saw like a commercial for something, and that was, he produced that movie.
Yeah.
So I thought you were going to say fact, Spike don't play with girls.
But Spike likes that one girl. Or Icebox likes that one guy.
If this was more like Jeopardy style, see how that's a little bit, I think,
maybe we can.
I'm a little confused with this.
I could get it refined. We could do a little different for next time's games. All right, so keep those hands to yourself. And that was the description was shares an actor with the Addams Family movie. Film was delayed because of the Columbine shootings. Dragula from Rob Zombie can be seen on the TV being watched. Dog can be seen with a boner in a scene.
House of a Thousand Corpses.
Nope. And the main character's name is
Final
the
Destination.
Same. Nope. The main character's name is the same as the founder of the Church of Satan. And you have to remember the thing. Keep those hands to yourself. Because something is...
Idle hands.
There you go.
Yeah. Devin Sawa. God.
There you go. And the last one was called Money Saves Everything. And so the description on this one was something filmed with on the set was really made and was scrapped after nobody wanted to keep it. Real bone was used for some props. Bats during shooting were actually just crumpled
Goonies.
paper. There you go. And it's the Goonies.
Yeah.
So I went through all the back in time.
I was going to say basketball.
It could have. I think that would have been a boner on some dog in some scene.
You guys sure you want to do Jeopardy? I'm getting all these.
All right. Well, that is it for our show. Kyle is the big winner for tonight. He beats out Pat.
You win nothing.
You lose. Good day, sir.
Now you're coming here soon enough. Dinner's on you, Pat.
Good. I don't have to pay for shit. Make sure he doesn't have the special, though. His stomach.
Oh, man.
All right. So one last time, you guys want to go ahead and plug yourselves and plug both of your podcasts? Well, I think there's supposed to be a new one that's coming out, right? From Kyle down there.
Well, Tweety Bird. Yeah, you know what? This feels like the right time to drop it. Coming. Well, it's actually the first episode's already out, but we're not really promoting it. But yeah, starting in November, you will be able to catch Patrick and myself on a little podcast called Chafing the Dream, which is a weight loss journey podcast. We're 2 episodes in, hoping to record number 3 tomorrow. I don't know, with Pat. So we're trying to figure that out. But yeah, just getting everything ready and building up the social media a little bit by a little bit. And I really enjoyed the episodes we've done so far. We had a pretty emotional episode with Pat in number 2. So it's good stuff.
It's awesome. It's good to hear you guys doing that. You opened up. Why don't you ever open up with me? But and
lost weight.
Put it all back on. You can see this fucking jiggle right here. But and then you guys also have Back in Time podcast.
JD, go ahead.
Oh, well, thank you so much. You just threw me under the bus there, but that's fantastic. I have to pee like extremely horribly right now, but let's continue the episode on for a few more minutes. Back in Time Pod, you can check us out on all things where you can catch an episode. I think we're most recently on Amazon, if I'm not mistaken. You added us onto that.
Yep.
So check us out, backintimepod.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the good stuff, and listen to us dive into movies from 80s and 90s mostly, some 70s, some early 2000s, but we really jump into the DeLorean and dissect some of our favorite movies from childhood. And it's a great time. We've been doing it for a number of years now, and I'm very thankful for my partner and co-host Kyle and all the work that he does. So big shout out to him, and he's got a great radio voice.
Oh, wow.
And then you've also got your other podcast, SideQuest.
SideQuest podcast is just recently launched at the beginning of October, and we do all things more geek culture, video games, board games, movies, TV, whatever that we can sort of, and whatever you want to hear us talk about. We've got good friends of mine, Jeff and Eric. Eric, who's been on the Back in Time podcast for a number of episodes. Jeff, who's a loser and nobody likes, but he shows up anyway. So
Jeff was on one episode of the Back in Time pod, but it got cut.
Oh,
yeah, we did a live episode. We did a live episode last Halloween, and we did 2 takes. And the first take was just like, what's your favorite horror movie? And we did a round table of the party. And then we did a second part, and it was just Jeff crying about his family for about 30 minutes. And so we just...
It was awful.
We just hit stop. We just stopped recording, and we just never printed it.
Oh man, he's a goofball, and they do a great job. Eric's kind of the host of that one, and I feel like he's stealing all my moves, but no, he's doing a really good job. And I listened to the first episode, and it's well produced, and they've got good content. So definitely check out SideQuest, and but always check out us before you do that.
Absolutely.
Back in Time.
all right, Pat. So that's it for this episode. Pat, where can people out there find the podcast, or if they want to email it be like that, where they're going to do that at?
ibltpodcast@gmail.com.
They can check out our Instagram,
IBLT Podcast.
the YouTube channel, which you're probably either watching this on or maybe you're listening to it.
It Be Like That Podcast.
And then you can find us on and rate and review us on things like Apple Podcast,
Stitcher,
Google Play,
Spreaker,
Blueberry,
Facebook.
And all the other fun stuff out there.
Yeah.
Deezer, Amazon Podcasts, all the places that you find this stuff.
It's always different when we don't have this stuff in front of our faces.
Yeah, this is going to be the fun one, Pat. Hey, make sure that you also follow all the other podcasts on the SIP network. Podcasts such as...
Jesus. Paranormal Pativity Podcast.
Keep going.
Okay. Terrible Terror Podcast. Back in Time Podcast. Angry Dad Podcast. Podcast from Another World. Fave 5 for Fans. I finally learned how to say that. Dead Hand Radio. From the Waste. And then Ben has about 20 other ones on there.
So I married Bigfoot and everything.
Bigfoot and was it the Action Dad?
Not your dad's action movies.
There you go.
They're called.
You forgot the Prince Ali podcast too.
Yeah, it's the Prince Ali.
Fabulous Heat.
Prince Ali.
The Prince Ali Pop Culture Corn Tree Podcast.
And we also
Love
got actually what their new show is going to be coming out soon too, isn't it?
Yeah.
With Andy.
All things Christmas too from Dave.
You got the World of Horror and All Things Christmas. Those are the two.
Yeah.
That's why, you know what, on the end of mine, I'm just going to say, hey, the SIP Network, check it out. Here's the website. There's a bunch of podcasts to check out.
Except for somebody that keeps not submitting the stuff to the website.
Yeah, this guy over
I
here.
don't know who the fuck that is.
This guy over here still has not submitted no Terrible Tour or It'd Be Like That stuff.
I'm so bad with promoting myself. It's crazy. But here we are. So, Pat, you got anything else that you want to plug for yourself?
Well, you can follow me on my YouTube channel, Sola64, where I do food review videos. Basically, that's it on there now, which I haven't done one in a while. But also, you can follow me on for my other podcast, Paranormal Pativity Podcast, paranormalpat64@gmail.com, or Twitter and Instagram at paranormalpat64, and Facebook and YouTube Paranormal Pativity Podcast.
Chafing the pod.
And Chafing the Pod.
There we go.
That's right. And then you can check out all the socials will be in the show notes for everybody. But Terrible Terror Podcast, we're doing nothing but Rob Zombie movies for the month. So we just did House of Thousand Corpses, did The Devil's Rejects. We're doing 3 from Hell on this coming week. And then we'll be doing another one, which I don't want to announce right now. It'll come out with the podcast. And then, like I said,
Got to give away the first in the House of Thousand Corpses, I think.
Yeah. Did we give away what the fourth one was?
Well, I think Dave kind of did.
Maybe Dave kind of did, but people might have forgot. But the last movie of the month is going to be with Pat, with our friend Neil, and with Dave. That's going to be the one for Halloween, so that should be a lot of fun as well. So if there's nothing else, any guys have any last words that you want to say?
Rest in peace.
I won, bitches.
All right, peace, bitches. We'll see you later.